Hey folks, this is Nate coming at you on a Wednesday night on March 16th. So tonight, in honor of the Kenobi series coming out soon, I put together a list of blade styles that I've paired with some ObiWan Kenobi fonts, sound fonts. So there's about, I want to say six or so of them. And so what I've tried to do in some of these is sort of going for more of the screen accurate color variations as best I could for each of the different ones. So there's an episode 1 font, episode 2 font, some episode 3 fonts, and then some episode 4 fonts, as well as the OB4 version 2 from Cyberphonic, the Rebels version. And then there's a seismic charge sound font. And I'm not sure where exactly I got that one from, but that one's also going to be a blue blade with a seismic charge preon that I've put together for it. So I've taken sort of less artistic license with these sound fonts and tried to steer them a little bit more towards sort of Canon-esque screen accuracy. So hopefully y'all like them. And as always, I'll make the style codes for these. These are compiled on ProffieOS5.9. And I'll make the style codes available in my pasting, and I'll leave a link in the video description for them if any of you would like them. So, so let's get started. So the first one, so I tried to, as best as I could remember, I put these in order of how they appear in the Star Wars timeline. So the first one is TPOB from KSith, and this is a blue audio flicker blade. And this is a slightly off standard blue. So a standard blue would be a 00255, and this is a 025255. So this is just at about 9% of green, 91% blue. Just to lighten it up just a little bit. And then on this blade, the clashes and effects are more in the sort of dark orange red category. As best as I could mirror them from the Phantom Menace movie. Clash. So then the flash and clash is a little bit more gold in it. Then the blasts are a multi-layer going from a light yellow into a soft red. And then the lockup does the same thing. And then the lightning block is straight white. So as best I could tell from kind of going through and screening clips from all of the movies the last couple of days, a lot of the prequel movies showed the blade clashes with a lot more sort of orange red and red in them, and then in the earlier original trilogy there's much more of sort of soft yellows and yellows, and even in some spots like the fight against Vader on the Death Star, there was even some green yellow flashing on clashes in that one as well. So that one was for TPOB. So this next one is an episode 2 font. This is the bold one, also from KSith. And this is a blue hum flicker blade.
General Kenobi.
And this is sort of a half-step blue. So this is using the same ratio as I was in the previous font, but it's a half-step darker. So this is using a 0.13.128 and then ratio down to a 0.764. So it's just it's about 50% dark, dimmer. And again, using the same color scheme on the effects for the clashes, blasts, and lockup. Which are responsive.
Hello there.
And then the melts, I set, so the default, if you use like the melt from Fett's library, it defaults to, I believe, from red to orange. And I changed the melts on all of these that go from orange to yellow. Because then again, looking at the movie again, there's the only time I ever see a lightsaber doing a melt is in Phantom Menace, when they're trying to get through the door on the Trade Federation ship. And it definitely looked to me like it was going from an orange to a yellow, or an orange red to a yellow. So I tried to change the melt to try and match that particular scene the best I could. So that was the bold one. And then again, the main difference between this blade and then the first one is that this blue blade is a little bit darker, or a little bit dimmer. Okay, so then the next one, is from the Slave 1 sound font. So this is a slow pulse, a custom pulse blade that I built, and this really isn't off of a canning. It comes from Attack of the Clones, from the
Slave 1 2.0.
from the from his chase with Jango Fett. But it's not really there's nothing canning about this blade per se. So I just had fun with it. So that's my seismic prion. And then this is a slow pulse, and this is in a more of a standard blue. And so the effects I'm using on this one, on the lockup, the clash, and the blast, well, the lockup and the clash anyway are more in the yellow family, sort of light yellows, lemon chiffons, that sort of thing. And then I'm using Fett's full blade lockup for lightning block. and then I do a cycle off on the retraction. And so the next one is Heroes Pack ObiWan from Kyberphonic, and this is episode 3 ObiWan font.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must.
And so this is also sort of a darker custom blue. It's sort of a half step from the standard blue. This is a 28148, and this is a static single color blade. Well, so I should add those. So because I'm using, this is actually a lighter blue, but it's dimmer on the top end. So because I'm using a 2, red is 2, green is 48, blue is 148. So it's using about 25% green. So it's gonna appear a little bit lighter, but the overall light on the blade is dimmer because it's not the full 255 on the blue channel. I'm using blast waves on this one. And so because I use a little bit more green in this blade, that lockup color that I'm using, which is sort of a pale red, it ends up giving just a little bit more of that halo effect on the lockup, which is kind of cool. It's a nice sort of side effect because that blade is just a little bit lighter, configured a little differently. So that same red doesn't give that same halo effect on some of my other blades that are more of a darker blue. And so then the next one is OB4 version 2, the Rebels version, also from Kyberphonic. And this is a light blue, it's a random per flicker LED blade. So it's, so I'm using about, let's see, 1, 2, I'm using 3 custom blue colors for this one, for the per LED flicker.
Master Kenobi?
I am, and when you have your strength, I will help you on your way.
So that one's also doing a bright white on the ignition. And then this drops down into a nice light blue blade. It's a little bit darker than like an Arctic blue or an ice blue. It's got a little bit more blue in it, less white. But I like the way this one came out. I'm using a little bit more orange in the lockups on this one. And you can see it in the transition. That transition color is I used a much more prominent orange for the transition.
The truth is often what we make of it. You heard what you wanted to hear, believed what you wanted to believe. Now the only one who has gained anything from all of this is... If you define yourself by your power to take life, your desire to dominate, to possess, then you have nothing.
Yeah, I think of the three OB4 V2 sound fonts that Kyberphonic released last year, the Rebels version is my favorite of the three. I really love that version. Let's see. So the next one is Old Ben from K-Sith, and then this is also an Episode 4 sound font.
ObiWan Kenobi.
So this is also a custom per LED flicker blade style, and on this one I'm using 4 different ratios, and I'm using sort of a custom sky blue, and I'm ratioing that 4 different times. So this is going to be a little bit lighter of a blade, but same texture as the previous one, just a lighter color.
Hello there.
And I do have a small emitter flare on this one. And so for the original trilogy, effect colors, I'm using a little bit more gold and a little less on the dark oranges and reds. Reds on the blast though, but on the lockups, more yellows. Okay. And this next one is OB4 V2, the Cantina version.
Ben Kenobi?
And this is also a deep sky blue. This is a deep sky blue blade. This is a hump flicker blade.
I haven't gone by the name of Obi-Wan since all before you were born. Iceland spaceport, you will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
I think on this one I'm doing a brighter white swing on the force effect, which you can also turn back off on the Force effects.
Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time. A long time.
So it turns back off again.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
And then this is the last of the 3 OB4s. This is the Death Star version.
The Force will be with you. Always.
And then this is also a hump flicker. Now you notice on this one, this lockup is much bigger and it's a lot more yellow in it. And that was me going back through looking on that Death Star fight scene again and again, trying to see if I could reproduce that clash color and that lockup color the right way. So the one thing I actually do need to do on this particular style for this particular font is this emitter flare. I need to get rid of this, and instead I actually want to put a wick where it essentially almost makes the blade look like it's floating up just above the emitter. Because in that particular movie scene, both the sabers on Vader and on Kenobi have that sort of effect off of the camera, where it sort of looks like the blade is floating just above the emitter. And that was what Fett, I think, had intended when he designed that emitter wick effect on his style page. So I'm going to replace this bright white emitter flare with an emitter wick. So that's the one change you'll see on this style code if you take it from the paste bin.
I don't think you boys can help. Just go along.
So those are...
Battery power level.
Oh, my battery's going down. So, so those are the 6 styles I've got done up so far for Kenobi. As like the rest of you, I'm really excited for the series coming out. So I've got Kenobi on the brain. It's always been, you know, aside from Ahsoka, he's always been one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe, like by far. So yeah, can't wait till it comes out. And if I can find some more Kenobi-centric sort of canon-esque sound fonts, I'll grab them as I can find them and do some more styles to them. Those are the 6 that I had that I could find that I could do something at the moment with. But you know, if I can find more, I'll certainly pair up some styles with them and put them up on my channel. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. May the Force be with you. Take care.